Hi everybody, today we are going to talk about models. Um, Before we are going to do this, because there are not so many things to say about models, I'm going to answer to some questions um, about certain things. For example, this mini map here, how do you enable it and see it in different scale? I forgot to tell you, you are gonna press F5 like in the game, and you are gonna see this map, mini map, in different scale. A second question was, how do you make a bended road? How do you torture a road? Not making just a curved road, but one with real problems. I'm gonna show you how. I'm gonna select this node and I'm gonna enable the free rotation. Okay, press R and I'm gonna rotate it like this, and wherever you want in any direction. I'm gonna do the same thing here. Node, because if you don't enable the free rotation, I'm gonna press R. Okay, and is not going to move. Node, free rotation, rotate, now is moving, and like this. And as you see, you have a speed track here. I'm exaggerated, but I'm doing this to see what is possible and what not. If you change your mind and want all the things to be the same, I'm gonna press N again. I'm gonna uncheck free rotation. In this case also, okay. But as you see, the inclination, the bending, it's still there. So you're gonna need to adjust one more thing here to write the value you want for rolling, like 0 here, and let's say 2 here, or 22. No, let's make it 0. Okay, another thing, I forgot to tell you about one box in road properties, and I'm gonna show you what box I'm talking about. Properties. I'm telling about this road height box. It's pretty simple. If you write here 5, one way it's up and one way it's at normal level. As you see, the terrain between lanes, it's not quite normal because it's pretty flat, but you can mask this, hide it with some vegetation, crash barriers, and so on. That's it about roads for now. I hope I didn't forget something. Free rotation, and rotate. You are gonna make a road. Over a hill, for example. This one is still exaggerated, but you understand the idea. And of course, the vegetation is a wall, So move with my mouse and everything is fine. We are going to talk about models. Keep in mind first, there are models good for short distances, and I am talking about sorry, I'm talking about high resolution models like this one here, like this tree here, and not like this building here. It's nice but not quite nice. I'm talking about that building. That building looks nice at that distance, but if we are gonna go closer, we are gonna see that's horrible. You are gonna scare your your users if they are driving next to this building. But from far, it's okay. We have this mountain, which in fact is very big, but now is very little, and we are gonna see why. For example, this building properties, and as you see, the model properties are not that complicated like in road case or I don't know, prefabs. This is just a model. You don't have many options here. You can have looks. For example, this one has a color variant: brown, red, orange, green. Okay, it doesn't have any looks, it doesn't have any variants. Almost any model has some particularities. This one, for example, it doesn't have color variants. It has just looks orange or default. This tree, because it's a tree, it doesn't have any other option. And this mountain can be marble or default. So to create diversity, be very careful what options your model can offer you. Another thing in models, it's the scale. Very important. By default, the scale is 1 by 1, like this. And we are going to move to understand what 1 by 1 means. Means this. Okay, let's cancel this and make it little like it was before, because the scale of this thing is just 0.3, 0.4 in height, 0.2 in length. Okay, these are values you can edit in any way until the model start to look ugly or odd, like in this case. Okay, you can do this with buildings and recognizable things, because it's going to look odd. For example, this one, if you reset any model, is going to be in scale 1 by 1 by 1, any model. This one, it's already in 1 by 1 scale. Let's make it 2 by 2, 2, not 22, just 2, 2, okay, and 2. And move it a little. And I have here a guy doing some stuff for me. I'm gonna place it here. This one, it's a mover, not a model. we are going to talk about movers in next episode. But because this building is 2 by 2 by 2, look at this guy and look at the size of the door. So something is wrong here. You can play with this scale, but in the case of the building, the margins are very, very small. I'm going to reset this. You can make it 1.1. For example, not very noticeable, but is not exactly 1. And that's it about models. Not much to say. This one, for example, has additional parts. For example, these people wants to watch TV, so let's place for them a nice antenna. They have probably, I can't see it here, but for sure somewhere they have a electro. I don't understand what electro means. Okay, and the satellite dish. Okay. Electro. This is electro here. So if they have an antenna, means they have a TV, and more than that, they have a satellite antenna, so they need electricity. You have variants like brick, like original, like plaster. Okay, this is the load. From what distance this house is gonna transform from ugly to nice. Sorry, my flu is still it's still here. That's it. Be very careful with models and with all materials, like you see here. Be very careful with rendering distance. If you have a giant mountain like this one, and you created a nice panorama, it's not very nice this mountain to pop out of the ground a few meters in front of you. So this mountain needs to be seen from far. If it's default, it's going to be from short distance or even close, but as you move, the player, instead of seeing your beautiful panorama, is not going to see nothing, and boom, your mountain just wake up. That's it about models. The best way to know how to use this model to create a city, a view, a panorama, a village, and so on, it's to see all the models available in the game, to know what options do you have. And before I'm closing this, I'm going to explain something simple. Why do we need DLCs? Why do I need Italy to play a map about Poland or Romania or I don't know, Russia? Why do I need a DLC? It's simple, because as a map editor, every DLC brings into the game new materials. This Baltic DLC, just in models, has 660 new materials, and the newer DLC, the newer DLCs are having much better materials than the old ones, and this one is not an exception. On the contrary, the Baltic DLC have the greatest models so far. So if I'm making the map of Lithuania, for example, no, China, let's say China. If I'm making the map of China and I want this playground or this cow to be placed here, and you are playing my map, remember this map, this model is from DLC Baltic. If you want to play China, you are gonna need the Baltic DLC, because if you don't have it and you are gonna reach in this point, your game is not gonna see this cow, is gonna see nothing, and is not gonna find the model because you don't have the Baltic DLC, and the game will crash. So because any map modder has the need to create something different and needs more and more materials, more diversified, is gonna use all the materials from any DLC available, and for that you will need the same DLC or the same DLCs to play that map. That was the short divagation about DLC. That's it for tonight. See you soon. Bye bye.